This is getting deep, ain't it? Things seem to be heating up on Capitol Hill, they claim. That's what everybody's saying. That's the headline all over the world. It's amazing how these two teenagers are arguing over on social media like you would tell your kids to stop doing. And then they say they got supporters on there. Y'all stop doing that. Like, these are grown people. They can do whatever they want to do. Who is you? Really, I don't know what happened, but we is just all in everybody's business these days. That's amazing. What happened? Maybe that's the problem. They wasn't in everybody's business enough. I don't know, but it's getting out of hand. It is getting out of hand. But what I'm concerned is the next election. Now, who knows? Who knows if we're going to even be here for the next election. But it's a reason why we got to this point. And I'm serious. I am serious. If James Brown had been here, we wouldn't have all these Black Trump supporters. We wouldn't have no Black MAGA or Blacks for Trump. It was amazing because if you see what he did in Boston when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. got shot, assassinated, they said he saved Boston. They called it the concert that saved Boston. And these people seen that. They seen the power They seen the power.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thanks for coming out to see the show. I want to say thanks for what you've done for James Brown and the James Brown Show.
And how they respected this man, and how they listened to this man, and how they didn't go out there and tear up their neighborhood like other places.
I want you to know that I'm still a soul brother.
He said, I'm still a soul brother. 1968, April the 5th.
You made it possible for me to be first class man in all respects. Thank you. I've been able to do a lot of things, like around the country.
And see, that's what we need. And the reason why I said James Brown, now we got all kind of political politicians, black politicians and all that. But see, they are attached to strings that don't really have our, hi Liz, that don't really have our best interests and don't really know us. Because see, once you go to these Ivy League schools and colleges and stuff, you have a whole nother different mindset. And most of the time, a whole different zip code.
You know what that is? That's black power.
And you don't hear black politicians talk about black power.
You do it with this. This is the way you do it. Remember that now. Now I'm stopping in 7th grade. I didn't get a chance to finish school like most of you people did, but you made it possible.
Right. he said he didn't finish school, but he had more power than these.
I work each and every day to make you proud of me, because my fight is to make a black man see that he
yeah. When you get a chance, go and listen to his speech. And I really honestly believe that we wouldn't have all these black Trump supporters because they would be too embarrassed. Yeah, really. They would be talked about so bad. And this is what I found amazing. How many like Trump supporters actually voted for this man. Yeah, it's really something. Let me see. Now, where it did go? Yeah. Hi, Bug 13. Okay. Yeah. And I know our young ones are just getting a kick out of this this little feud going on Twitter with the president of the America and this other guy. I don't even listen to it. I hear a little. I only need to hear just 2 seconds, maybe 2 minutes if it's something I might not know. But everybody know all this stuff. Not everybody. I'm sure some people that try to act like they don't know. But it said that, I'm looking at here in Newsweek, it says Donald Trump won more black voters than any Republican. And wow, in 48 years. This is what the analyst is saying. Now, how is that? That's you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. But it's true. Wait a minute. Is this? Wait a minute. Let me see. Is this the second? Or is this the first? Oh, yeah. In 2024. Why? Why did they said that Donald Trump got 20%? According to analysis and exit polls, Donald Trump received a notable percentage of the black vote. Black support for Trump, overall percentage, he won approximately 20% of the black vote. 20%. What is that? A lot of them done went ghost. And they're mostly the age between 18 and 29. Now we have to ask ourselves, what in the world? They said it had a lot to do with Twitter. That really got into a lot of people's head. Increase from previous elections. This represents an increase compared to 2020, 13%, and in 2016, 8%. So what was the big deal? Okay? And I had looked up what's the difference when James Brown, that era, there was a there was Republicans, but they began to flee. Black people began to flee the Republican Party in the 1960s. Because the Republicans was going away basically because of the the big deal. So what kind of deal got these young ones fleeing back to the Republican Party? Voting for a known racist. What was it? My thinking is we went from the New Deal to the New Shade deal. Yeah. You got a whole nother group of black people now that are torn between being black and white. And it was bound to happen when integration blew up. And they begin to think that, they got it going on now because they could mingle with, well, if you have to choose neither what's you. But well, I think everybody should vote for their conscience. Whoever you vote for, you have to live up to that. That's just like when people, they kill me with that when they say something, and we all do it, and they say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. Why you say it? So we all have to, own up for what we say and do. And if you know you say something and you know it's wrong when you say it, why are you saying I'm sorry for? That's our problem. Own up to what you say and do. We're so tired of hearing that. And we're tired of being lied to. Who wants a leader that lied to you all the time? That don't make no sense. Okay, some data support among black men. Some data suggests Trump gained significant support among certain groups of black voters, particularly black men. 25% of black men back Trump. Where they at? Hi, Donkey Hawk. How you doing? Glad to see you all. I mean, come on. And then Trump also saw increased support from black voters in swing states like Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Georgia. This is what I'm reading. So this is what they're saying. Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Georgia. Where they at? A shift from Democrats. While the majority of black voters still supported the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, the overall share of the black vote for Democrats dropped compared to 2020. What happened? The New Deal is not new anymore, but the new shade is. We got more Oreos out here. So what are we going to do when the next election comes? How do we these black Trump supporters, name them where they at. We need to gain more people that want to see better for their kids. Not only in voters, but also people to vote for. Who are going to who can be on this next election? I would like to see just maybe 3 contestants in the Democrat Party and maybe 1 independent. Because we taking too much time listening to all these contestants that we know and they know ain't gonna win. Just like everybody knew that Markio and Tim Scott and Kamala Harris, we all knew that they was not going to be president. So we sat up there and wasted how many minutes listening to them? This is getting serious. They is trying to dummy up our kids, trying to take away people's rights. For what? Because they don't like to see people happy. These are miserable ass people that is running stuff. And it needs to stop. You see how miserable that White House is? You don't see nobody in that White House laughing and kidding and cheering on and having fun like we did during the Obama and Biden. And it seemed like when the White House was more happier, it seemed like other people was more happier. Like some people are really attached to leadership. Some are, you know. So it's and getting back to black leaders, if we don't get some back, we are going to be in bad shape. Because you see what they're doing now. Now, you remember, even when they had Brian Daniels out there talking about black people was better off during Jim Crow, even when they were saying all these crazy stuff about we don't need reparations, you still had black people supporting that. Now, let me say, it said black voters began supporting the Democratic Party in greater numbers almost a century ago. But the events of 1964 marked a dramatic shift in voting patterns that's still with us today. 1964. Vincent Hudgens, a political scientist who studies voter patterns at the University of Michigan, says the first major shift in black party affiliation away from the Republican Party happened during the Depression. Franklin Roosevelt's second administration, led by the Big New Deal, made the Democrats a beacon for black Americans deeply affected by the crushing poverty that was plaguing the country. And it seemed like it still is. So what did the Democrats do for the black Americans? Looks more like it divided us more. To me. We still have a tremendous amount of poverty. The data suggests that even as late as 1960, only about 2/3 of African Americans were identified with the Democratic Party. Now, 2/3 is a pretty big number compared to today. Today is 90%. So it looked like we lost 70. So 20% out of that 90. We need to grow. And okay, it says an abrupt exit from the GOP. So when they did that, and we didn't learn, that just shows you we did not learn. We should have been building up the Republican Party and kept it going. But see, we are so weak, and we put this pacifier in our mouths, and we shift from one to the other, but not in unity. Because when we went from the Republican to the Democrats, you were just going from the fire to the skillet, you know. We should have stayed on course of getting what we should have been never. We should have never stopped on the path of getting back what we lost, what we are owed, and being recompensated for what we have done. So many years have passed that we lost it. It's over with. That's done with. We lost out. When we did not advocate for everyone. What happened was some of us was able to cross over and get the big mansions and the nice fancy clothes and cars, and they was happy with that. And the secret was, if you want to keep this, you better not help nobody get over. And we lost our power. We lost that a long time ago. And we didn't try to get it. We got it with slogans. We got it with songs. But we didn't actually get it in our homes. Every child born should have been enshrined in Black Power. Our homes should have been Black Power. When you went into a Black person's home, you should have seen nothing but Black power. But we didn't see that. Because really in the 60s and 70s, you really couldn't be Black and wealthy. That was not happening. That did not happen. That was not happening. So what we're going to have to do is get on a coalition of getting back true support and change our ways. Change our ways. We have to change everything. the way we eat, the way we talk, the way we think, the way we look, the way we dress. And start building up infrastructure where you can go into a building and you see Black power everywhere. So I'm in with this. So the actions that we need to take is when we have family gatherings, we should be not just partying, getting high and smoking and drinking. We need to be on a mission to show Black power. And stay away from the drunkenness and serve healthy food. Show our kids how to be strong leaders. And we go into a workhouse, our jobs and stuff, we will show Black power. Not just wearing Black power on your shirt. And that's another thing with that Black Lives Matter. I've seen it. Black Lives Matter earrings, Black Lives Matter hat, Black Lives Matter shirt, pants. But we still killing each other even more. So what did that mean? What did that really mean? And for one thing, you would have never heard me saying it or showing it because Black lives always matter to me. I did not have to advertise it. I don't have to convince these white people or anybody that Black lives matter. I wasn't going to get pulled into that. Blue lives matter. All lives matter. White people lives matter. Man, come on. We got bigger fish to fry. And we need to, it's all about showing our children Black power. It's all about, because no matter where we at or what we doing, you have Black minds taking it all in. That's why a lot of us is going through this now. That's why we have 20% of Black men supporting a white racist. Not just a white racist, but also a criminal. And he even had the nerve to say, that's why they like me, because I'm a criminal. So, now, okay. So if my advice is don't listen to that back and forth between Trump and Elon, it ain't nothing. No, concentrate on what's going on in the Black community, your community, because they get in your head. These are psychological. This is psychological warfare that we are in right now. And all these YouTubers and all these people that's in on it, they making money at our expense. All right. Thank you for listening. You all have a wonderful day.